I was only playing for Horsham at the time, but I was one of the first players out of the top league to get a call up, and that was in '95, September '95. You used to be told by letter, and it popped through the letterbox one day, and yeah, it had all the other names of who's in the England squad and who's been selected, and there was mine. I think I was about 16, 17. So yeah, I'd been selected before, so obviously maybe I was on the radar and we played Arsenal, and then suddenly it all happened from there. And it was only a couple of years before that I'd learnt about that there was an England team. So yeah, it was a bit weird. It was a bit of a quick turnaround. Right, this is England. We're here. We've dual courtard 100 odd caps, or getting onto that then. I'd been there, done it, and you had to, yeah. Just because you were young, it wasn't very much, oh, okay, let's ease her in. It was get up to speed, or otherwise you're going to be, shipped out kind of thing. You have to prove yourself. And that you learn that as well, the mentality as you're growing up with the England team, because, the difference between players is very small. It wasn't until 2001 when I think it was the last Euro game that we played in Germany. Mo Marley had played the first two games and I was thrown in. We hadn't qualified, we knew we weren't going to progress, and Hope gave me a start against Germany, European champions in their own country. It was the hottest day I've ever experienced playing a football match too. It's something like 35 degrees, and and it was just sink or swim kind of really, and I had to perform and show what it meant to me, I'd waited for this time. I'd had a long period in the team but hadn't really played a lot of games, and it was from that moment on really. And then quickly into the early 2002 got a few caps, regularly played, and it wasn't until we played Germany again, I think it was around May that following year, and it was at Selhurst Park. I think it was a friendly, but Hope pulled me aside you always go out, look at the pitch. On the way back in the tunnel, she grabbed me, said, come and talk to me. So, oh, okay. And it was still at that time where I didn't really speak to the coach a lot, or had to, it was quite shy. And she just said, today I want you to prove to me you're going to be England captain in the future, or you can do it. And I didn't really know what that meant. And it was just the whole, really? Wow. And suddenly not only was I dealing with Germany, but it was, oh, wow. So I've gone from not playing regularly, suddenly getting a few caps, for her to see that in me. I think one thing for me was a big thing was obviously as a young player going suddenly straight into the seniors. It was like that sink or swim kind of whole new world. So it was important for me to try and make younger players coming through feel more accepted and feel more important, feel like they had a voice. And I suppose that was one of the bigger things that I wanted to change. But also it was about showing professionalism, trying to change that mindset from the players, but also for the press and people's stereotypes that from an amateur, it's just amateur, to we had to, be professional before we were considered it really. We had to make sure we were doing everything right in our lives, but equally trying to manage that while you're still working. It was quite hard. We want to push this on. We want to play games at Wembley. We want to, get to World Cups. And I think as well, before we hadn't qualified for a lot of tournaments. I think 2003 World Cup, but then my first one was 2001 Euros. And then 2007 World Cup. I think the 2003 we missed out on. We didn't qualify, and we hadn't for a little period. It was almost that time where we were starting to become on the bigger platform and play regularly in tournaments as well. It was that pushing that professionalism mindset. It was increasing the awareness of the game, but it was also raising the standards enough to play at the top level and play against the top teams that would ultimately improve us. First and foremost, I knew as a captain, I might have not been very vocal sometimes off the field. I would try and allow others to have more input and have that voice so they felt part of it. But on the field, that's where I kind of come alive and would be like, right, you there, you've got to do this. And ultimately, I knew that you have to perform at the end of the day. You have to be that player that the big game, you do play your best, you do step up. Unfortunately, in a few World Cups, I managed to do that. But then so did others. And it's about bringing those other leaders in as well. And it's not just about, yes, you might be the face, but within that team, you have to try and do that. And it wasn't always easy. But yeah, it was, again, another challenge. But when suddenly you're made captain, it's funny how lots of people's perceptions or behaviour towards you change. Suddenly, you know, you used to be one of the girls or just a player on the team to, you know, them acting or talking very differently around you, and you also having to display that outside of it as well. But I think, yeah, she has that within her. She has her feet on the ground. She's calm, but ultimately she performs, and she's that figure when, right, okay, I need to step up again. Something's going wrong. We've got to go again. And it is, don't put too much pressure on yourself. You know, you just, I think with captaincies, often the media as well put more on it. But nowadays there's more leaders in the team. But yeah, it's ultimately enjoy it, relish it, learn, be adaptable, be flexible, and do it your way.